Chill.
Hello Marvel Legends and welcome to another episode of Displaying Moral Behaviour, and we are going once again back to the Legends Legacy Review. So before I go on, if you enjoyed this video then please join the 61 Clicks by clicking the subscribe button. And if you really like this video, then you can go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior and see some of the content on there. But now, let's dive into the Spider-Verse. Where are we going? Who is the person who's missing from this lineup? Of course, it is Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man. A very interesting character with a complex but also simple kind of backstory. It's interesting. I'm going to tell you all about it. So Miles Morales, a lot of people initially thought, oh, okay, this is just kind of a token sort of like, oh, look, we have, you know, a biracial Spider-Man. Aren't we kind of cool? And actually, he's a really good character. That's the interesting thing. You can't just like slap the mantle of another superhero onto someone of a different race and go, oh look, we have diversity now. Aren't we good? No, it actually needs good writing as well. And that's what we got. And I'm not the biggest Bendis fan. I find his writing a little... the dialogue's okay, but everyone tends to talk the same. It's what people complain about with like Joss Whedon stuff. It's like, oh, we're all quippy people. It's like, yeah, but some people are not quippy. But either way, I'm digressing into a Bendis rant. Miles Morales here. This is the Space Venom Miles Morales. And I just, the way his eyes look crazy like that. Actually, when I turn him to the right angle, the face looks terrific. I actually really like this face. So Miles Morales was created in the Brian Michael Bendis Ultimate Universe. He was a replacement to Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Peter Parker. And this was a typical sort of cheap comic book tactic of, you know, trying to get media attention by saying, hey everyone, we're killing Spider-Man, we're killing Peter Parker. And of course the like mainstream sort of news was, oh my god, Marvel are killing off Spider-Man. And then they're like, yeah, well, Ultimate Spider-Man. What's that, sorry? Yeah, we said we're killing off Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, because that's what it was. It was the ultimate version of Peter Parker that they were killing and replacing him with Miles Morales. And yeah, it's such a cheap tactic because, you know, death means nothing already, let alone the death of a alternate universe character. But nonetheless, Ultimate Spider-Man was killed by the Ultimate Green Goblin, which, even though it's a different reality, it was kind of cool that, like, sometimes the good guys lose. So Miles Morales here was, you know, he was injected with the same Oz formula that turned you know, the Norman Osborn into the Green Goblin, and it gave him his spider powers as well. So very similar to Peter Parker. He had that same sort of origin, but Miles Morales does have some different abilities as well. He has all of these Spider-Man abilities that Peter has, but also he has a camouflage kind of ability, so he can turn himself invisible, and also he has his venom blasts, like static electroshock kind of blasts that he can give, which is confusing to some people, understandably, because it's like, wait, venom blasts? What, you mean like Venom from Spider-Man? It's like, no, nothing symbiote. Just he has this venom blast ability to like basically like shock people, essentially. And he became the new Spider-Man. And lo and behold, he was actually very popular. Why? Because he's a good character who's well written and has a deep sort of backstory with you know, a mother and father and characters and a supporting cast that is interesting and relatable, and that's where I'll give Bendis all the credit in the world. He wrote a character that was actually going to have some resonance to people and wasn't just a palette swap of Spider-Man, and that's where Miles really stands out. And it's been proven with the test of time, where, you know, now he starred in his own animated movie, Enter the Spider-Verse, which I think we can all agree is arguably the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying I feel that way and there's a strong argument to be made for it. But I'll happily fight you on that. But now, we've had him move across into the 616 universe. There was a whole story called Secret Wars, a second Secret Wars, where basically Marvel, it was a bit of a Crisis on Infinity Earths type thing. Marvel wanted to do away with all of the excess universes and multiverses. So essentially they just had them crash into each other and be destroyed. And eventually the last two were the 616 and the Ultimate Universe. And they crash together, and Doctor Doom, along with the Molecule Man and some others, they used all of their power to create like a mismatch of worlds, and Doom ruled over that. And eventually that all came sort of tumbling down, and everything sort of merged into just one regular 616, but with some characters carried over. So Ultimate Miles was sort of absorbed into the 616, and I don't know, someone can help me out here, like, did his origin, like, did his life in the Ultimate Universe, like, occur in the 616 now? Or, like, did everything from the Ultimate Universe carry over? Like, his parents are now in the 616? Do they know about, like, what happened? It's confusing to me. And I want to read more, but there's so many comics and not enough time to read them all. So I don't know exactly kind of how that works. The Spider-Verse animated movie sort of made things very sort of simple, where it's like, hey, there's all these universes, sometimes they cross over. I'm like, I can deal with that. So since we're covered up on the backstory, which is probably full of holes, so I apologize for that, but we have the Miles Morales figure. And I think one of the things that helped him get over as a character is that his costume is simple, but really effective. Black and red, it just looks cool. It works really, really well. And this figure, even though it's a smaller figure, it's a child-sized figure or a teenage-sized figure. It doesn't feel too spindly. You can actually get him into decent poses. I mean, you see, like, I don't normally do the articulation, but you can get some great kind of spidery kind of poses. He's got, like, great kind of articulation, and I should have actually posed him in more interesting ways. But yeah, he's a lot of fun. I should probably put him on a flight stand. But the reason I have him with the maskless head is because I think the head is actually a really well done sculpt. It's an unmasked head that actually looks decent. He looks kind of like serious, but he's got a bit of a smirk on his face. He looks kind of intense, but kind of cool. I dig this Miles. I really, really do. So I got a lot of time for this. And also, the masked head, just, again, it's the basic Spider-Man design, but with the inverted colors, with the black and the red, it's a really cool look. So actually, I'm tempted. I think I'll pop his Miles head off and put the regular head on, because when we get the Stiltman Wave Miles, that one will be maskless. So I might as well have, yeah, like, that looks cool. It's just a really good design. He's got the big, wide Mark Bagley type eyes, and that really suits a young character, because you can imagine him being like, oh, like, you know, big, wide-eyed kid. So he's a really, really fun character. The only question left to ask now is simply, Ben, what bar is Miles Morales?
Greetings, YouTube land. What bar is Miles Morales? Well, I can tell you for a fact that Miles Morales is a Mars bar. The global Mars bar, unlike the American Mars bar. The global Mars bar has a nice black packaging with red writing, which is very, very close to Miles Morales' Spidey suit. That's the Miles Morales of this Legends figure. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Dave.
Well, that's all well and good, but I think we need another opinion, so I have to ask, Bianca, what bar is Miles Morales?
Hello, David. This is Blanca, aka BlackBurners24, reporting from Whittier, California. In today's What Bar, we have the amazing superhero Miles Morales, and he is a mix of a blackjack wrapper, a pack of Marlboro Black Filter cigarettes, smooth and authentic fresh. Lastly, he's like the West Bromwich Kid. Thank you for watching. Back to you, David.
Look at that, you get 2 What Bars for your money on this one. Now, it's time to see where Miles ranks on the Legends Legacy ranking.
You know, Miles might be small in stature, but he has alternate hands and a really good alternate head that doesn't have the fixed mannequin sort of look to it. So therefore, even though he's not a spectacular figure, he will go in a very comfortable spot, number 33 in the Legends Legacy ranking.
So a very decent ranking there for, I think, a very decent figure, but my goodness, I feel like he's going to be eclipsed by the Spider-Verse Miles coming out soon. So now, guys, one of my favorite parts of the show, let's do the figure comparisons. All right, folks, let's do a little figure comparison. So, first of all, we have the man himself, Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales, right there. And of course, we need to pair him up with the original Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker. I love this Ultimate Peter Parker sculpt. It's perfect. It's a perfect teenage Peter Parker. Looks fantastic. And now, the monster who kick-started this whole thing, the Ultimate Green Goblin. This Baff has really grown on me. It was one I was never planning to get, but now that I have him, I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's really good. So, let's branch out into the Spider-Verse. We have the 616 Peter Parker. He's got the unmasked. Oh, come on! I'm not gonna accept that. We're gonna get everyone standing up for this. He's got the unmasked 2-pack Mary Jane head. So this is from the all-new, all-different version of Spider-Man with the various like green accents on the costume, which I wasn't a fan of, but hey, it didn't last long. So there we go. And now we have a little Spider-Ham I can place in the front here. The only good thing I can say about Spider-Ham is that at least he doesn't take up too much space. So you can do good kind of, group displays with him, and it's not gonna actually, worry too much about having empty space or negative space at the front of the display. Then we have Spider-Man Noir over here. And Spider-Man Noir, I really love the figure, but it's such a shame that they didn't give him his fedora. He's really missing that. And finally we have SPDR, the very Evangelion-looking SPDR. I hope that we'll get a Spider-Verse, the cute little egg-shaped robot from the Spider-Verse movie. I can imagine that maybe being a Baff later on. And of course with SPDR, I have, Timber. I have the Cuckoo, who stands in as Penny Parker, because I feel that's actually a pretty good substitute. So I'll pop her there. And it's funny, I'm just using one hand to do this because I'm holding the camera closer to the desk there, so I'm kind of multitasking here. So I'll just hold. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to hold SPDR there, and there we have our Miles Morales Spider-Verse wave. So guys, that's the Miles Morales figure. In the end, I give this figure a sub rating of...
I'm adequate.
This is truly an older figure that stands the test of time. Simple but effective, a great character who's really making strides on his own. I really dig this Miles, and I cannot wait to get the new Stiltman Miles. Whew, that was a good little segment right there, if I do say so myself. So guys, thanks very much for watching. What do you think of Miles Morales? Is he a good alternative Spider-Man? Do we have too many Spider-Men? We can never have too many Spider-Men. Comment below, let me know. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And before I go, here comes the Data Blast. The best things I've found on Instagram. Check the names of the creators and go give them a follow, because they do fantastic work. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.